Hello and welcome to Just Do It, a Dewey Brothers podcast. Eric, how have you been doing?
You know what? I've been keeping busy, man.
No way. Well, I mean, it was just Hamster Independence Day. How was the parade?
Alex, it was the best ticker tape parade I think I've ever seen. We had hamsters of all ethnicities, of all regions come together to really celebrate their independence, and it was a great day.
That's fantastic, Eric. You obviously had membership from the Russian hamsters, the dwarf Russian hamsters, the
The
pygmy
Syrian
Russian
hamsters, they were great.
the Syrian hamsters,
Mhm.
and were there any other hamsters, or is that all the hamsters? It's kind of that one geographical area. Turns out
Yeah.
hamsters can't really they're not good migrators.
No, but I will say one thing that was great was that the fact that we didn't let any guinea pigs in because it's not their day. It is the hamster day.
Yeah, obviously, Eric, you can't have that. That would
Honestly,
be
Bilo is still tuckered out. So he went a little too hard on Independence
no.
Day, celebrating his great independence by running on all of the best wheels out there. And he found himself a treat or two. So there's a lot of street vendors during the parade throwing out assorted nuts, which obviously he loved. And you could see like the little black beadiness was extra bright in some of those young hamsters' eyes. It was awesome.
Oh man, that's fantastic, Eric. Which hamster won the 27th annual walnut face stuffing competition? How many walnuts did they get crammed into their cheek pouches?
Well, Alex, so it's crazy. Joey Walnuts won it again. He's just way too good.
He's so good.
He's so good. He fit 63 walnuts, of course, half walnuts. So because when you crack open a walnut, there's
exactly
not the shell, no shell included. That was a different thing. But he got 63 bits all the way in there. I was honestly flabbergasted.
Man, Eric, that is impressive. That Joey Walnuts, he has some really stretchy pouches.
I gotta say the favorite thing that I saw during the hamster Independence Day was the great speech by Martin Luther Hamster Jr. He really said this is the year that we have to march upon the capitals and demand change for hamster kind. Hamsters are being locked up in cages too small. We need a good 4 foot by 2 foot cage, not this standard sort of like 2 foot by 1.5 foot cage that's very common in hamster households. So I appreciate that speech. It riled me up to the core, and I'm not even a hamster.
Yeah, no, I really understood the hamsters' plight and I understand their demand for more hamster ball time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a big point, and I gotta concede, like I didn't see it through their lens, but looking at it in a bigger picture, it really opened my eyes, and yeah, that million hamster march really hit me hard.
Yeah, it was definitely a sight to see, and that's all we have for current events. So I'm gonna throw over to our wacky weatherman, X-Law. Hey, it's me, the wacky weatherman, and I'm here with your wacky weather report. Everywhere in the world today, it is a high of 84 degrees, a low of 65 with winds 1 to 5 miles per hour on the southwest. And watch out, chance of afternoon thunderstorms. So keep your umbrellas handy and your lightning poles ready to be charged up.
Yep, you gotta watch out. I want you to make sure that your lightning rods are out, because I think you're gonna catch a an extra charge later this afternoon.
Well, 5 to 10% chance. So,
oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising that you said everywhere in the world, because that's true. I mean, at least where I am, but that is the exact weather forecast.
Yeah, that weather forecast is for the entire northern hemisphere. Yep.
Southern, a little bit different. It gets wonky on the equator. No weatherman is good enough to predict it for the entire world.
No,
even Tom Mesner would try, but
Tom Mesner's old note journal that I stole.
well, he is the chief meteorologist, Alex.
He retired. He was the chief meteorologist.
Exactly. You don't get to be chief meteorologist just on wacky hijinks alone. You need
you got to do a lot of studying of meteors in order to be the chief meteorologist.
Well, Alex, it's interesting that you said that because I've actually heard that the root of meteorology is not the study of meteors. The actual study of meteors is meteorology. Actually, it's meteorology. Yeah, it looks like orgy at the end, and don't worry about it. Those meteor people, those meteor scientists, real freaky. They
they're
just
not
love.
that freaky. They're like a medium freaky.
I mean, the Romans would say that they're pretty normal. So let's just go with that.
All right. Well, Eric, now it's
meteorology,
time.
that extra L, it adds a whole spice of life. That's actually where Chief Meteorologist Tom Messner learned his tricks of the trade. It was in Laos. That's where the L comes from. So you wouldn't think about that.
Yeah, who'da thunk that the Weather Institute's actually headquartered in Laos because of their wacky monsoons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta be able to ride the monsoon in order to get your weatherman wings. That's how it works. So, Eric, we got to move on to this week's main topic, which is pizza podcasting. Okay, I heard that you have a special way that you like to make pizzas, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna measure up to how I make my pizzas at home.
Well, Alex, so every good household has to have a specific pizza entrepreneur or pizza connoisseur, which of course boils down to the newly coined term pizza-newer. No relation to the pizza flavored manure that Just Do It. Pimp My Tractor is now peddling. So nothing wrong with that, but a connoisseur of fine pizzas.
Yeah,
in fact,
pizza manure actually. What you got to do is
pizza newer, my friend.
Pizza newer is going to help the pizza crop come in. So if you're growing pizzas, that's the specially designed manure they have to fertilize the pizza fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Alex, I was gonna say so. I've studied well, in my brief time in Laos, I studied meteorology, naturally, but I also spent a few years in the home of pizza, which is of course New Haven, Connecticut. That's right. It's not New York pizza. New York style pizza is it's New Haven pizza, but falsified, and we go head to head with the rival temples of Chicago pizza. Their dishes are just too deep over there. But I'm gonna let you in on a secret Connecticut style New York pizza. All right.
All right, I'm ready.
So the first thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to open up your shop. That's right. No good pizza is made at home unless you are profiting off of it. So I expect a 401k and benefits for all of your employees.
Part of the secret pizza recipe, the pizza sauce, if you will, is embezzlement.
Exactly, Alex. If there are not mob ties to your pizzeria, I don't want it.
If your pizza oven isn't a write-off on your tax contribution, then I mean you're doing it wrong. That's gonna hurt the flavor right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So half of your income should be coming from loan sharking. But that's more the business side of it. I'm talking purely product, and the first thing you're gonna want is a good oven. So obviously you embezzled this oven, took it from old Jimmy down the street, sort of broke his kneecaps to get a brick or two. All of your construction fronts will have extra bricks, so that's how you build your oven. And it's important that it's big enough to hit a few pies in there. But what really adds that special flavor and to really get the New York City style is the orphan tears, okay? So after you just whacked off a few of your competitors, their numerous children are going to be crying, and now that they're orphaned, grab up some of their tears. It's better than MSG, Alex. So it's salt, but it brings out the flavor of everything. So
it's really going to help bring the dough together, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly. It really just makes everything and makes the flavors pop. So that's the first good bit. The second is
Well, I gotta
sauce.
stop. I gotta stop you right there,
Okay.
because
Okay.
when I make my pizza
I'll let you say
dough
it.
over here in Woburn, just north of Boston. Okay, I've been here for just over, almost a year now, coming up on a year, and I have been taking in the local culture. And the secret to a good Woburn pie is that it has to start with crispy matzo dough. Okay,
Oh,
you
that's
take the same dough that they make matzo bread out of,
I
and
was
you got
gonna
to get
say
that
the
pie
Jewish bread, yeah?
thin, crispy, and unleavened. Okay, if this
Mhm.
thing starts to take off, then like your hopes and dreams, you got to make sure it can't rise up. Okay, you got to beat it back down.
All right. Yeah, I mean you gotta keep that culturally different bread, in its place, huh? That's the
Exactly.
Boston way.
Exactly. Yeah. What I
Interesting.
yeah, what I actually do is once I have that nice crispy matzo dough base, okay,
Mhm.
I go find only the most abhorrently grown hybrid grape and grape tomato plants from the hydroponic farm down the street that is being run off of unfiltered Woburn tap water.
That's
So
does that come
very high
straight
in
from the river?
PFAS. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And the grape squared tomato plant is actually a cross between a grapevine and a grape tomato plant. So what they do is they graft the grape tomato onto the new world grapevine so that it doesn't get tomato blight.
Interesting stuff.
Not only does it not get tomato blight because of that, but it has a double effect on tomato blight, Eric, because of all the PFAS in the water. Really,
Oh,
hardens the plant and
so
gives it a plastic-like quality, and that's what you want to make your tomato sauce from. Those grape squared tomato plants.
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So that's always fun to hear. Have you ever found that so PFAS is a obviously inorganic compound. Um, but have you seen a result of any other contaminants or even other branches of PFOAs? Do they cause a sort of different reaction in the sauce?
So we filter out the PFOAs, but in order to keep that tinny taste, we make sure to add back in the lead.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, we just run lead paint chips from old landlords, old condemned properties, into a mill, and that we pour a little bit of that in. That's one of the secret ingredients in our sauce mixing machine.
Well, Alex, lead is good for everyone. I mean, lead
Well,
paint.
it adds a
That
sweet note to the tomato sauce that you're not
oh,
going
of
to get. It's a
course.
0-calorie sweetener.
That's
Yeah.
no, I think you're wrong because I believe lead is very high in caloric intake.
No, it
Similar.
has lead has 0 calories,
Hmm.
and it was discovered. It's the original 0-calorie sweetener discovered by the Romans.
Oh, very interesting. I mean, I do believe that's why you toast. But so that's very different from my pizza sauce recipe, Alex.
Oh, how do they do it down in Hartford, Connecticut,
So
Eric?
it's not Hartford, New Haven, much sketchier. So the trick is you got to get the good stuff. So I will admit we get a lot of our products from New York, including the Tuesday afternoon. So at around 1 o'clock after the street sweepers roll in on Tuesdays or Fridays, we go in and we collect the street juice, the street cleaning juice, and that gives the perfect blend of sweetness, a little bit of tartness, and a whole lot of drug. I couldn't tell you the specifics. There is gasoline in there, which of course is very calorically dense.
That's
Um,
true. Do you
so
guys have? Do you
this is a
guys aim
fattening
for a
sauce.
certain? Do you guys aim for a certain flavor profile of secondhand psychedelics, or pharmaceuticals in your pharmaceutical blend? Like you have a certain ratio of oxycodone to Tylenol, or you just kind of
Of
whatever
course.
the street gets, all natural.
So the codon is pretty good stuff, but We are an organic company, meaning we don't use any GMOs in our street goop. So we don't clean it at all. It's just what you get. So every batch is a little different, and I think that's what keeps the people coming back, not their crippling addiction to anything.
Oh man,
So
that's a great business strategy, Eric. I gotta
yeah.
hold you. I just gotta let you know. Unfortunately, grape squared tomato plants are quote a flagrant disregard for the natural order of plants, end quote. And they further go on to say this sort of thing spits in Mother Nature's face and is somehow has more GMOs than they thought it was possible to MO. So, lot of
Interesting.
modification in that organism.
That's interesting to say the least.
Yeah, no, we're not. We are the reviewer went on to say this is the farthest from organic they have ever seen a pizza.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting for sure.
Well, you know what though? Here's one ingredient we also we this one we get organically, but not
Okay, okay.
humanely. So
Oh, that's my type of ingredient right there.
yeah, see, what really makes the cheese both stringy and full of flavor is the non-humanely sourced dolphin milk, okay? The problem is
Ooh,
it's hard, it's too expensive to get, properly taken care of dolphins. So we just go down to the seediest dolphin milkers on the wharf in Boston and get that milk to make into our famous stringy melty cheese.
see, Alex, that's the type of ingenuity that will keep you sort of on the top of it. Like that's beautiful. That's something I'm actually intrigued. So, um, I do like that. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Again, the big problem is you have to if you want organic dolphin milk, then you can't treat the dolphins for all of the human sewage waste that runs off the city and into their ocean. Um, and so since we do treat the water so that the milk is safe for human consumption according to the FDA 90% of the time, that means we have to.
It's a numbers game, Alex,
Well,
and we always
sometimes,
end
Eric,
up on top.
it's a numbers game, and sometimes you got to throw a batch out. Okay, it just happens. It happens,
That's okay. Ham's the
and
best of us.
that's how we actually managed to get the non-organic dolphin milk, in order to make our rich, creamy, stringy, and also melty cheese.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's good by me, brother. Um, so the cheese, obviously you have the top end stuff. I just go down to Guido's Cheese Emporium and pick up some mutts. But that's just me. The trick is the toppings, Alex. Okay.
Eric, we only offer our classic Zuz have just one topping. Okay, and that
Really?
one,
Okay.
just the one, and that is spicy pepperons in the
Good stuff.
Inkai style.
Oh, I like
Yep.
that. That's
hmm
that's that
hmm
that sort of is doing a sort of culture fusion type of thing that I can appreciate.
Well, you have to have only the most Inkai pepperons, which is
Mm.
the pepperon is a meat a phallus like meat stick.
Okay, okay. That's interesting. Do you chop up the phallus looking meat stick or do you just sort of leave it on there?
Well, you got to get one that's hard and erect, and then when you do, in order
Ah,
to, yeah,
so you go
um,
down to the construction company after they're done erecting this phallus meat um
well, you got to make sure
creation.
it's nice and dried out. It's a cured meat product, okay? And you
Oh,
get
do
one
you
that's
dry
about
age or do you smoke it, Alex?
oh, yeah, dry age. You got to dry
Oh,
age. Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
They get stiffer with age. If you gotta,
Oh,
if it's too soft,
that's
then you gotta wait.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
And
you
then what
want
you
it
do
like
is you
hard as
take
a
it
rock
hard as a
before it's
rock,
ready to use.
clean.
Okay.
Yeah, they come in between 4 to 8 inches long. And what
Very
you do
intriguing.
is you just take it and you shove it right into the deli slicer. Okay.
Oh
And
my. Okay.
yeah, you want those slices to be, 2 to 3 millimeters, and you know just got them flying out because you want a nice thin sliced pepperon.
That's intriguing
And then
sort
you
of
layer the whole
conundrum.
pie with
Okay.
pepperons, and that's El Clasico right there. I mean, you could put other stuff
Ooh,
on the pizza, but that's the king of the toppings.
I like that, Alex. I like
Savory,
where that's
sweet,
going.
and above all else, meaty.
You know
Yep.
what? That's what makes it for a good pizza is you gotta have the toppings. That's why the trick to my famous pizza is the fact that it actually doesn't have any toppings at all. We
Oh,
invert
dang.
it. We invert the pizza so it only has bottomings. All right.
Oh, wow. Now that is next level, Eric. That is
I
some
mean, yep,
ingenuity you're only
yep.
going to get
So,
down in
oh yeah.
down in Connecticut.
So this is something I learned in my time in Australia. So you know everything. The world is just upside down there.
Yeah.
So are the pizzas. Crust on top, sauce somewhere in the middle, cheese somewhere in the middle, and then the bottomings. That's the trick. So we got a little slice of life from everywhere. So we got the big city style, the nice hometown feel, and of course the ethnic variations being from the southern hemisphere. Which of course tomorrow in the southern hemisphere, who knows what the weather is? No one
Nobody
can
knows.
tell.
No, it's
And
impossible to tell.
that's the trick is so you know how the northern hemisphere everyone knows what's popping, everyone knows what's happening. You got chief meteorologist Tom Messner out here and he's got it down to a science.
You've got that on lock.
Southern hemisphere complete wild. It's the great unknown. Some might even call it the outback. Like the Sheilas and the tarantulas are there, the Joeys are fighting. It's who knows, it's anybody's game. And that's what I love about my pizzeria is that no one knows what's happening. A whole lot of mob money's going in, and you know what?
So
Sometimes
every day
you get
it's
a
an
golden slice, and
oh.
sometimes you get maybe a chromium slice. That's all I'm gonna say.
So you're telling me is every day I walk into Rico's Pizzeria, eh? And in New Haven, Connecticut, and it's gonna be a mystery bottomings every time.
Well, Alex, that's part of the secret, okay? So
Man,
we actually line our pizzas, our pizza boxes. So we put something on the bottom.
yeah.
Normally it's just a mishmash of what we didn't sell last day, okay? So we have a whole like museum archive of different normal people toppings, but we just sort of throw them into the blender and it's down there. We layer the bottom of the pizza box with them.
hmm
And then we put the pizza in, and boom, that's what it is.
Man, Eric, that is amazing. Some people say you're just serving them pizza in the box the wrong way around, but I think it's
Nope,
art.
nope, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. It's
Yeah,
all
some people say they're
yeah.
too lazy to slide the pizza thing out, so they just like dump it right in the box, and the
No,
toppings
no.
go everywhere. But
It
that's not right. They're
it
bottomings.
we don't have a slingshot sort of operating thing from the pizza oven to the box. No, that's not us.
All right,
We
Eric. I got one last question for you. You say that your all-inclusive bottomings approach really hits every demographic. So, what about the key demographic of hamsters? How do you support Syrian and Russian hamsters? And how do
whoa,
you
whoa,
make
whoa,
sure they're
whoa,
not at each other's
Alex,
necks? Because
Alex,
there's a
I
lot
was
of history
nope.
there.
So that's actually one thing we recently did, because we don't approve of what is going on with the country of Russia recently.
hmm
It upset a few of our customers, but this is America, and we have to stand strong and stand with our boys over there that aren't dirty commies. So of course, we stopped allowing Russians into our store. We have a bouncer up front, and he says, "Hey, how do you like vodka?" And if they say, "Oh, I love the vodka," well then they get the boot, if you know what I mean. And then hey, maybe if they give us a little bit of noise back, they might end up as a bottoming. Who knows? Um, but let's just say in recent months, we've been catering to the Syrian crowd, of course, because we love them. They're nice and furry and lovely and have a whole lot of big balls. So we give them extra testosterone packets in their pizza.
You're definitely, and I heard that it of the money you squeeze out of the Russians trying to make it into your store. I heard
Hey,
that
okay.
10% of that extortion money is being sent directly to Ukrainian hamsters affected by recent events.
Exactly, Alex. That is, we are philanthropic at its finest. So we beat up. I mean, we don't do anything, nothing that's could be used against us in a court of law. That's what we do to these Russian dwarf hamsters, and then we happen to find an excess load of money that our customers may have left or dropped on the floor. And then we donate some of that, a little bit. Nothing that doesn't cover our workers' costs and efforts that they put into finding said money.
Right now, you donate
That gets donated.
10% of the extra illegal money you bring in from
Whoa,
shaking
no,
down.
we are
Sorry,
law-abiding
totally over
citizens.
the board. Generous donations.
Yes,
You
generous
donate,
donations.
and also generous 1.5% of those donations back.
Of course.
Yeah. All right, Eck. Well, we got to thank our sponsors and wrap this podcast up because, like usual, we spent too much time talking about pizza. So I got to thank Joey Walnuts and his amazing 63 nut run. I mean, wow, Eric, can you believe it? A
Like
new world
that's a new
record.
world record. New
Yeah.
hamster record right there.
Yep.
That's great, Alex. I would have to thank PMT's newest product, which of course is Pizza Newer. If you're out trying to grow some home fresh pizzas in your garden, look no further. Pizza Newer is the cure to any blights that you might see. You're gonna get strong, big 20-inch pizzas with all the good toppings if you use some Pizza Newer.
This podcast is brought to you by Tom Messner, Chief Meteorologist, certified with his meteorology wings from the Weather Center in Laos. So
That is correct.
yep, that's an accolade, Eric. You got to appreciate that.
Alex, we couldn't have done it without generous support from Homegrown Hops. That's right. If you're trying to enjoy a pizza, nothing goes better than a nice fresh home brew, especially made with homegrown hops, which are they're thriving right now. No Pizza Newer required to grow some hops, so get them today.
This podcast is brought to you by Big Rosé. Enjoy. You struggling to choke down that humanitarianly sourced dolphin milk? That's okay. Wash it down with some Big Rosé. What a perfect compliment to a Woburn style PFAS riddled pizza. Nothing like Big Rosé to compliment that.
Of course. Alex, that's all I have.
That's all I have. So thank you for potting with me on episode whatever this was, season 6. I think we're up in the high 20s now.
Oh, it's more than half a year on this one season.
Oh baby, whoops. Anyway, however I sign off this podcast.
Yes, Alex, you are Alex. I'm Eric.
And for the love of God, man.
Hey, just send it.